And Lakesh and Veritas, everyone. Honor, respect, and gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Happy Monday. Welcome to Flowers and Frequency. I am Lauren of the Sun, and I am here to share with you some insight and information so that we may educate, elevate, and meditate with the consciousness of the flower realm. And today, the flower that has come forward by request, again, from another one of our viewers, was Gladiola. And I think that this is so divinely, of course, there's no coincidences in life. This is so divinely designed because August, which we have just entered into, the gladiola is the flower for the month of August. So here we are in the essence and the frequency for this flower, and we see it abundantly blooming. Wherever you are located, I know in the Midwest, this is the region that I'm in currently. This is an avid flower that is grown locally, and many farms in Michigan. I know this is their livelihood. This is their crop, and this is what they produce, and it supports and sustains them throughout the year. And I have a good friend of mine who actually works on a gladiola farm, and she distributes these locally sustainably grown gladiolas to many different florists, floral wholesalers, vendors, and even grocery stores, and a lot of local markets and places for people that live in the local area to go and shop. So it's a wonderful crop that grows and blooms and produces many different flowers. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that shortly, but we have just a few brief announcements to share with you all before we begin into our discussion. We have our happenings, our list of weekly lineup here at Of the Sun. We have Mondays with myself, Lauren of the Sun, with Flowers and Frequencies, and this is every single Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, same time, same channel. And then on Wednesdays, we have Diane of the Sun with Enlikish Studio One bringing us our midday meditations. And this is an opportunity for us to come together and to elevate. She works with the consciousness of the mudras. So this is actions with our hands that are directly connected to the energy meridians of the body to help us move into greater release and greater strength. From participating with our own energy. We also have Thursdays. We have with the Call for the Truth podcast with LaOta of the Sun and Tavares of the Sun. And this is literally an excellent opportunity for community to come together. This is a open table discussion about real life situations and real life solutions. And they are inspired by the Call for the Truth divination cards by LaOta of the Sun, which are available at ofthesun.com. And then on Fridays, we have a rotation with Enlikish Studio One. We have Evolutionary Book Club, which is coming up this Friday. This will be The Subconscious Speaks. Excellent book, excellent book. This is available, I believe it's on Spotify, so free. If you're interested, you may listen to that, but it's also available on Amazon and Audible. So we will be discussing that this Friday. And then we have the Call for the Truth Divine Nation with the card pulls that also features Tavares of the Sun as a guest. And we have the Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles. This is on the fourth Friday of every month. And that's with Tavares, Tiffany, Diane, and myself, sharing stories, situations, ideas, insights, and practical applications through the consciousness of quantum light property clearing and how it is a solution and the many different aspects that we as clearers have engaged with and are willing to share to inspire all those who engage with us at Of the Sun and beyond. So many things happening. We have, of course, light body movement. We just moved into the sacral chakra. This is every Sunday, again, community, collective, building our light, restoring our light, calling for the truth, moving into the luminosity that we were designed to be to support us in all of our manifestations and actualizations. And we move through the chakra centers with the allies and the aid and support of so many that are here on our journey to encourage us to continue this process. And we are in the sacral chakra. So this is all about our creativity, about rebirthing, moving into this newest expression and experience of ourselves. So we are there now, and we have 2 classes at Of the Sun this month. We have Sun Calibration with LaOta of the Sun. This will be on Tuesdays, starting the second Tuesday of the month. And this is one of my favorite classes. If you are looking for information, if you are looking for truth, if you are looking to get the information within your experience in the reality now live time, this is working with the consciousness and the intelligence of the human body as it is rooted in truth. And you may learn how to calibrate to receive information to guide you and support you for your greatest good. And so if you're interested in moving deeper, this will be available this month. It is also a prerequisite for Quantum Light Property Clearing, which will be coming back again soon. So you may be interested in that. And then on Thursdays, starting on the second Thursday of the month, we have Energy Hygiene 101 with Tavares of the Sun. And this is a wonderful opportunity for wherever you are in your experience to go deeper and understand more of what you are and how to move into greater states of cleanliness and protection, spiritual protection, and going deeper within practices and clearing understandings and modalities to integrate within your everyday life. So much to look forward to. All of this is available in the description of today's session. But now on to Gladiola. As you can see, we have some beautiful Gladiolas here with us. One of the simplest yet strongest flowers. Now, I've worked with flowers for almost 30 years, and when I first started out in neighborhood flower shops, Gladiolas were a staple and a summer staple. We are in the summer season, and August, September, boom, Gladiola time. And that was what we always had. And we had bunches of them, and they come in every single color of the chakras, the rainbow. So you can literally get a healing for your whole light body by all of the different Gladiola blooms. And so they're just beautiful when they're maxed out. One of my favorite ways to engage with them is just as is. So as you can see behind me, this is one bunch of Gladiola, 10 stems, and they're I put them in 2 different bases to kind of elevate and shape them in a fuller experience, but just maxed out like that. They're so striking and so strong. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Gladiola, its botanical root, where it comes from, where it originated from, some history, how it's been integrated within society, and its celebration. And then we'll also move into a meditation with it today, as it has a message to support us. One of the common themes, or the main themes, is this resiliency, and is this strength and integrity. These are aspects of the bloom that come forward to assist us in reminding us that we too may operate in truth, that we too are resilient, and to include integrity into all of our experiences, as that is the understanding of truth. So that will be something we'll get into in a little bit. But so Gladiola. So we call it Gladiola, but its botanical name is Gladiolas. So it almost sounds plural, but the plural form of it would be Gladioli. It's in the iris family, which is very interesting. So very much connected. We spoke about iris in one of our live streams earlier in the spring, and such a brilliant bloom, but they are in the same family. So they are cousins. They are native primarily to South Africa. So we see this at one of the southernmost countries of the world, and they originate from there. There have been more cultivars that have expanded throughout the globe, specifically the Mediterranean region of Europe and northern Africa, but their main indigenous zone is South Africa. There are about 300 varieties, excuse me, that have been cultivated that are common. It doesn't mean that there's not any more, but these are the most common varieties. We see actually in the floral industry, they have been bred to actually have miniature versions. So we see here, these are in their natural fullness. They can grow anywhere from 2 to 5, sometimes even 6 feet tall. They're very strong and striking blooms. The average cut Gladiolas you're gonna see are anywhere from like about 2 to 3 feet 3 is about average, and they're heavy and they have spiky foliage, and that's something we're going to talk about, is how straight and linear they are, which is very important in the message of what they're going to bring forward to share with us. But so that is an aspect of which you'll see commonly in bunches, if you're purchasing them from your local farmer or grocery store. But the miniature varieties are maybe 1.5 feet tall, and they are very petite and dainty. The blooms themselves are not so much closely designed or affixed onto the actual stem like these. They're a little bit more spread out, more of a wildflower feel, and it's a very different feeling, and they're petite. Bloom time is absolutely summertime. So right now, this is the season, this is the time. Again, if you have not seen them popping up in local landscapes or shops, you may soon, because this is the time that they are in bloom. So what a brilliant opportunity for us to connect with them when they're literally growing and blooming in their natural cycle. So that's another understanding for us to go deeper into, to blossom into our experience. And they're going to help us move through something that we are in process of working through. The name Gladiolas. So this is very interesting. The name Gladiolas, this is its botanical name. It comes from the Latin word gladius. And so what does that sound like? Gladiator. Right? So gladius is the actual word for sword in Latin. And so sword, as we all know what a sword is, it's very strong, it pierces, right? It's straight and it's solid. It's steeled and it's fortified, it's strength. And so it takes on this energy. It has, over the years, over millennia, as it's been cultivated, it has also been known as the sword lily. So in many different cultures call it that as its common name. So when you see this, it is very much a frequency that is resonating within the bloom. So it reminds us that we too are swords. We too are strong. We are that resiliency. We are steeled and fortified. And to remember that that is our choice. It is available to us, but we have the opportunity to move deeper into that. So what a brilliant understanding for Gladiolas to bring forward to us, to help us remember that we are the sword of truth. That whatever it is that we need assistance with to move through, to help us on our journey and on our path, that we can call that forward to help us move through it, and to literally clear our own path through our brilliant light. So one of the stories that is going to come forward based on what we just heard with the gladiators is that in ancient Rome, this flower became associated with the gladiators because of their sword-like leaves, and it symbolized bravery and victory. So this understanding of we are the victorious. The flower is the victorious. It even, in many ways, you can kind of see a V, which comes forward from its actual bloom. The bloom looks like all of these little mini V's that come off, and there's 10 to 20 blossoms. And you can see as it starts from the bottom and moves all the way up, all of these little V formations on the actual branch or the stem. Victory, victory, victory times 10. So it's very powerful, and it helps us to remember to call for the victory in our experience. We are the victorious. Shall we say that? That is a saying that we say at OfTheSun very regularly, because when we say that affirmations, there is power in words. And when we say that and become that dominant frequency, there is opportunity for us to move into that which we are calling for, right? So I encourage you all, call for your victory. Gladiola comes forward to help us remember that. So what did these gladiators do? Many of them, there is myth, many of the gladiators would actually wear the corms of the actual gladiola flower, which is, it's not a bulb. Many times people think that the gladiola grows from a bulb, but it's a corm. And the corm is a little bit different. It is basically a stem. It's like a swollen stem that's underground, which then produces the roots, but it houses the nutrients, the starches, the food, the sugars, the energy, and it goes dormant. And then once the season and the cycle comes forward, it starts to sprout and bloom. But so it's a little bit different. But the gladiators would wear these corms around their neck, and they would have the frequency of the gladiola with them as the gladiator to call for victory in their arena. So I thought that was very interesting. We actually also see in the Netherlands, the 10th largest city in the Netherlands has a annual march. It's like a 4-day march, and it's the forgive me if I say this wrong because I'm not very familiar with how to pronounce the name of the city, but it's Nijmegen. And it is a very intensive march of all these individuals that walk for 4 days straight. And what do they give them at the end of this 4-day walk that they have endured? Bunches and bunches and bunches of gladiolas. And that was as an expression or an extension from this understanding of the gladiators and the warriors, the victorious. They have just accomplished a feat of something, and this was the reward. They were given life through the gladiola consciousness. So I thought that was also very interesting. That was something that I learned through in my process of learning more about gladiola. Ancient medicine. So this was something that they were used. The corms were taken and they were ground up, and poultices were made, and they were put on the body to be used as medicine for healing in many of the Mediterranean cultures. And so this is not something that is done very often today anymore, but this was a very powerful healing remedy to detoxify the body. So it was literally pulling out toxins, and it was used very regularly as ancient holistic medicine. Flowers are medicine. They are healers. This is something that we talk about pretty regularly on this live stream, is that the flowers are nature's healers. Part of their purpose is to assist us and support us humans, which we are their cousins, we are ancestors, to strengthen and support us, to help us remember our divine blueprint. Many, many, many things have happened to us throughout the course of humanity. The flowers still continue to exist and bloom by their divine birthright. They only know truth, and they continue to exist and operate in that purpose. So the more that we call upon them, whether that's physically, energetically, spiritually, to come forward and help us release, there is opportunity for us to remember to be free as well and move into our organic birthright. In the Victorian era, so the Victorians had coined this language of flowers, florography. We talk about this every once in a while. And so florography, this language of flowers, this was the gifting of flowers to people, and you wouldn't need to say anything. You wouldn't have to write a note. You wouldn't have to say a word. You would give flowers, and the flowers would represent the words. They would represent the meaning and the message. So these hidden messages that were spoken and shared with the recipient. And so what did gladiola mean? Strength of character, moral integrity, sincere affection. And the romantic phrase was actually coined, "You pierce my heart." So this can mean a few different things, but these all came forward from the Victorian era. So this understanding of the sword is still present. This understanding of love, affection, integrity, and strength, all of that is housed within the consciousness of the gladiola flower. And that was a message that if you received a bunch of these from a secret admirer or for someone that you knew, that's what they were sharing with you. So a few more interesting facts. We talked about this a little bit more about the gladiola, 10 to 20 blossoms on the stem. Something that I love and I wanted to talk about was this idea of how the flowers bloom. So if you see behind me the actual bloom from the bottom, they bloom from the bottom and they go up. So they start off all very tight little buds, all very strongly and closely connected. And so I love that there are power in numbers. We see this as a common understanding within the flower realms. They stick together. They know that there is opportunity for more power, more strength, more protection when they are supported by each other. And so we see this as the natural progression as the flower blooms. So from the very bottom, that's where it starts. And then that gets bigger. And then the next one, as that one opens, it inspires the next one. And then that one encourages and inspires the next one to blossom. So it's very much a community in one stem. And that is an understanding for us that we too are communal beings, that there is opportunity for change and inspiration and robust growth when we are in community with our other self. So to remember that, that we are supported. We do not need to stand alone, right? So that was something else that I kind of wanted to talk about. These are beneficial for pollinators. So the more that we have these, the more that we have an opportunity to grow these. Hummingbirds love these flowers because the nectar is super sweet, and it is perfect for a hummingbird because its tubular center is perfect for the hummingbird to go in and extract the sweetness and the nectar from the actual flower. So these are excellent if you're trying to engage with hummingbirds in your experience, but they're also wonderful for butterflies and for bees and other pollinators that are coming forward to fill your life with this understanding of the other allies that are coming forward that we need so much of, that we are connected to through the pollinators. Tipping a gladiola. This was something I wanted to talk a little bit about as well, because this is something that is done in flower shops. This was something I learned very early on as a florist, and many times when we get gladiolas, or if you purchase them or you see them, they're very tightly closed, so the blossoms don't open. And then you put them in water, you cut them, and they're in the vase, and the flowers don't open always. Or maybe you get a few that open, but then they start to shrivel or kind of get soft or wilt, and then the top ones just don't open anymore. There's an internal network of communication going on within the actual stem. So I'm going to take one out and show it to you. So on the basic stem here, you'll see this one's progressed. I tipped these yesterday. So when I say tipping, this is a florist hack. What we do is at the very top, you remove. So you see how there are different aspects here within the gladiola. Each one of these is a potential bud. But at the top, there's the tip of the sword, which is very tight. And if you snap that off, it actually creates this internal message that goes all the way down to the very first bloom and helps them pop open. So one of the things that happens with cut flowers is that once it's cut from the mother plant, it no longer has access to the natural resources provided by the mother plant physically. You may call it forward energetically, but physically, it's no longer being nourished from the mother plant. So that's why we need to care for them. We need to cut them. We need to keep them clean. We need to remove the foliage so bacteria doesn't grow. We have to put them in water. We recut so that they get a nice, beautiful angular cut. We have an angle here because when you cut on an angle, you have more surface area, so more water can travel up to the bloom, which is what it needs. There is a common misconception that cut flowers need to be put directly into the sunlight. They can be in a sunlit spot, but something happens within the actual flower once it's cut from the source, like we just talked about, that the sun then intensifies and actually dries up the flower. So what happens when they're cut, because they're no longer rooted into the earth, its natural environment, the sun then actually lessens its lifespan because it doesn't have the nourishment from the mother plant anymore. So it may be in a sunny room, a sun-filled space, but putting it directly into the sunlight will just cause the vase life to shorten. You may absolutely be in the sun with them. I will never say don't be in the sun because it is absolutely important. But for the flowers, keeping them out of direct sunlight and in a sunny space is best for them once they're cut. So what happens is the energy, when you tip this at the very top, the energy then moves and is redirected to the blooms to pop them open. It's similar if you grow tomatoes, or you've ever had an experience with growing tomatoes. One of the things that you do is you are able to prune back the bottom leaves, and then there are little growths that come out between the main mother stem and a branch of the arm, and you pinch that back. And when you do that, you are redirecting the energy so that the fruit has more energy to ripen, or it has more energy to produce. And so very similar to this. So we tip this back in order to pop these open. Now these were all closed last night. So within the matter of 24 hours from taking this top section, it's only a very small piece, maybe an inch, if that you just quickly pop right off. It tells the other flowers to blossom. And so you have this beautiful bloom that comes forward, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, and all of these will continue to do the same. And as they progress, you may then pull this blossom off so that less energy is being taken from something that's already in process of transitioning, and it pops open the other blooms. So this is our way of caring for the flower to help promote the fullness of each blossom once it's cut to open. So there's many different wonderful aspects, but this was something I was taught at a very young age early on in my floral career, and I was mesmerized. I was just like, it is magical. It is this magical process of communication within the wholeness of this actual stem. It knows how to redirect its energy to the aspect of itself that needs more of it. Very similar to our human bodies. If there is an aspect of our human body that is in need of more energy, other aspects are sent to that in order for us to heal. And so for the flower to fully complete its process, it must bloom. To be of service, it must open so it can be pollinated, so that it can support the pollinators, that it can share its light and its beauty with us so that we may be inspired. So there's a lot of wonderful aspects within the consciousness of what the Gladiola flower is teaching us. So I did a few anagrams for the botanical name Gladiolas. So Gladiolas, the anagrams. Now for those who are not familiar with anagrams, they are literally the words created from rearranging the letters in one word. So Gladiolas, by rearranging some of the letters, we get other words. And one of the words is doula. And I thought that was very fascinating because that is one who supports a mother on her journey, one who is very special along the process of birthing new life. And here we see this housed within the Gladiola. What a wonderful opportunity. I mean, that word, how brilliant would it be to have gladiolas in the room when someone's birthing new life? Any type of flower, as a matter of fact, but specifically this, because the word is housed, the energy is housed in that, and it promotes that. Just as we saw, as the energy is redirected to support the next bloom, to birthing itself, to blooming into all of itself. Doula is in the name Gladiolas. Solid. It is a very strong flower. As you can see, look at how strong that is. I mean, just look at the thickness of the stem. I mean, it is not, it's not pliable. I'm sitting here bending it. I mean, if I really put some energy into it, I could snap it, but it is on its own, it stands up straight and tall. This is one of the strongest stemmed flowers in my experience that I have worked with. Very, very solid. Solid is in its name. Gold. The frequency of gold resonates within the understanding. Flowers are that energy of gold. The value, one of the most valuable prized commodities on the planet. It's flowers. Gold energy. Aid. It comes forward to aid and support us in many ways. So the word aid is in Gladiolas. Idol. God. The frequencies of all that is resonate within the Gladiola. Soul. I love that. Soul. Soul is in the name of Gladiolas. This is a flower that feeds our soul in so many ways. And if we look at it from a different perspective, soul, SOL, is the word sun. And so this is such a brilliant flower of light. It grows tall into the sunlight. The sunlight is so integral in its experience. It is one of the flowers that actually thrives in the sun. Some flowers need a little bit of shade or they need a little reprieve. Gladiolas, when they're on their mother plant, they thrive in it and they grow directly up to the light. And so, in that perspective, once they're cut, they have absorbed the energy of the sun so much that they will illuminate the room with the light of the sun. So it is a brilliant understanding to know that they are mini suns. Soil. And I thought that was very interesting because here we see soul and soil, which are integral to their environment for natural growth purposes. The soil is one of the richest, most abundant, nutrient-dense aspects that we can engage with. And the soil is so healing for us when we go earthing, when we put our bare feet on the earth and we touch the soil in our hands. There are aspects of great healing taking place. The earth is so consciousness. The soil that it provides us knows how to heal our human bodies. It is everything that we need. And so when we can get our hands on that soil, when the flower's roots are connected, or tree roots, or plant roots, anything, they grow. The soil is the environment that houses, it's the womb. It houses the energy of life. So this is all within the word Gladiolas. So those are some of my thoughts, my inspiration, a little bit of brief history for us to engage within for the Gladiola flower. Now we do have a meditation that came forward from Gladiola that they shared with us, that they are willing to assist us today in releasing something, to call forward our victory, to call forward our strength, to whatever that is that we need a little extra support with. They are here to support us in that experience today. So if you are in agreement and would like to engage in this meditation with us this evening, shall we together allow ourselves to come together, to move into stillness, to move into oneness with our physical bodies. We may close our eyes, feel ourselves connected to the earth. If our feet are on the earth or our bodies are sitting on the earth, shall we feel that energy or call it to mind as it bubbles up within us, this essence of life, the womb of all life. And shall we together inhale, breathing in for 4, and exhale for 6. Again, inhale and exhale. And shall we call forth the consciousness of the flower realm? We call forth the consciousness of Gladiola, our ally and ancestor of Mother Earth. See her in your mind's eye. Tall, solid, stretching to the light of the sun. Feel yourself in the field of all her glory. Blossoming into the light. Shall we now call to mind an aspect of ourselves, something we are in need of assistance with. Allow yourself to bring this forward. We ask for the consciousness of Gladiola to support us in our process with this. Feel into the essence of Gladiola. Surrounding you, encouraging you to grow, strengthen, stand erect, moving you into courage, power, truth, into the light. And into victory. Shall we call forth strength? Shall we call forth strength? Shall we call forth strength? Shall we call forth resiliency? Shall we call forth resiliency? Shall we call forth resiliency? Shall we call for luminosity? Shall we call for luminosity? Shall we call for luminosity? Feel into your light. Let it inspire you. Shall we call for victory? Shall we call for victory? Shall we call for victory? Taking this energy and moving into the heart space. Feeling the center filled with the frequencies of love and gratitude. Feel into the frequency of glad within Gladiola. This energy of joy, light, happiness, elevation. Feel it radiate from you. Allow this expression of your elevation to emanate from all that is you. And shall we together breathe? Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. And release. One more time, breathing in all that is victorious. And as you release, taking that energy and grounding yourself into the earth with the knowingness that you are victorious. Every cell, every molecule filled with the frequency of love, light, joy, and victory. We are the victorious. We are the victorious. We are the victorious. Feel into the army of Gladiolas surrounding you, reminding you of this truth. And hold that thought as you allow yourself to move back into your spaces, move back into your body. Welcome back to the newest you. Allow yourself to gently open your eyes. Welcome back. That felt good. That felt victorious. So many areas to allow ourselves to move into all that was shared from Gladiola, into the understanding of the truth of ourselves, of our power, of our light, that we are the garden that we are cultivating. Gladiola reminds us to move into victory, to push everything else that does not serve us out of our experience and only move into the light, as that is our food, our fuel, and that goes with us, whether we're cut or not. Just as the flower, we get a battle wound, call on that light, call on that victory, whatever that is, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Whew. You can clear it and heal it with your light, knowing you are the victorious. We thank the consciousness of Gladiola for coming forward. We thank the brilliant information, the meditation, the healing that took place tonight for us, the inspiration and the knowingness that we are supported. We thank LaOta of the Sun for providing this sacred space for us to come together and share in this joy. This is life and living in community. And I look forward to bringing more information forward to everyone. Next week, we shall see what flower comes forward for us to expand with. There will always be a message and an opportunity for us to stretch into the light of truth together. I thank you all for joining us and wish you a brilliant, wonderful rest of your week ahead. Fill it with some Gladiola. Fill it with some victory. Call for it. It must come to you. With honor, respect, and gratitude, everyone. Integrity, discipline, and action. And Lakesh and Veritas. Good night.